Today we're going to learn a fast and simple method to grill and smoke a turkey breast on a Weber kettle style grill. What you're looking at right now is the chimney with the charcoals that are getting hot enough to use. I put some fresh charcoals on either side of this. We're going to have the drip pan method with the pan right there in the center. First step in this process though is to soak the wood that you're going to use for smoking. I like to use apple wood. I don't like to use chips. I like to use chunks. And I think the more the wood soaks, the more smoke you get. There are different schools of thought on that, but it just makes common sense. If you're putting wet wood onto a hot fire, guess what happens? It starts to smoke. So that's why I prefer using the wet wood. While the coals are getting hot enough to use, I clean off the turkey breast inside and out with cold water. Then I dry it off with paper towels and put a light coating of vegetable oil with some salt and pepper. Now you need to get as large a turkey breast as you think you can handle. The difference between an 8-pound breast and a 6-pound breast obviously is the 2 pounds, but the carcass size is not much different. So what you're getting with that extra 2 pounds is a lot more meat, so you're getting a better value on a heavier weight turkey. Some of these look like oysters, really, like this guy right here, but these are actually the applewood chunks. I got these from my neighbor. He had a couple of tree branches that needed to be trimmed, and I volunteered to do that. And guess what I got? Free applewood. So these have been soaking for a couple hours at least, and I think the longer they soak, the better. The more smoke they're going to produce. Okay, once we get the coals hot enough, and I just spread them around on both sides. And then add some of the wet chunks of wood. Depending on their size, in this case I'm adding 3 of these. Add them to both sides. And then put the drip pan in the middle, like so. And then we just put the grill grill on it. And now we're ready to get the turkey. Okay, turkey's right there in the center. I put it on a small rack. You can do that if you want. Sometimes the other part of the grill rack is pretty dirty, but I'm not a purist. It doesn't bother me. All right, next step then is to get the grill top on. Vents are fully open, and I leave this grill top slightly cracked open. That gets more air in there, so it creates more heat. So I like to have more heat than you might typically expect. You can see the smoke coming out of this. Right now it's even going to get more intense. I will check this every 20 minutes and add more coals, and also to see if the fire is going well. Now they generally recommend 15 minutes per pound, but because I have a higher heat, I'm only doing this 10 minutes per pound. This was roughly a 6-pound breast. This should be done in 1 hour. Plenty of time for cocktails, a little conversation, and then getting the rest of the meal ready. Okay, right now we're 20 minutes into this, and you can see a lot of smoke coming off of this. This is my first grill check. And I'm going to just check to see how well the fire is doing, and to see if I need to add any more coals, which is doubtful, but possibly some more wet wood. Alright, you can see since I lifted the top, that wood on that side is burning. It got pretty well dried out. This is starting to burn now that it's got more oxygen exposed to it. So I'm actually going to put some more wood chips in. I should say wood chunks. One nice size there. Smaller one over there, and sorry, that one dropped. Well, you can see I didn't get them very well on the coals. I've taken a coat hanger that I've bent around and move these guys to the right position. Same with this bigger one over here on this side, just move it on the coals. It'll start to smoke real nice where you can see the color of the breast. This is a hot fire. Otherwise, in 20 minutes, it wouldn't be this nice golden brown. That aluminum foil right there, I actually cut a squash in half and I put that on. So that should be done in time also. So now we're going to put this back on and still keep it cocked off slightly. Alright. Now the smoke will start coming again real soon. And once again, the smoke is really rolling out of this. So now we're 20 minutes into this. I'll check it again in 20 more minutes, and that should be plenty. And of course, 20 minutes after that will be the 1 hour cooking time. And I'll stick a thermometer in and show you that technique. All right, here we are again, 20 minutes later. Still a lot of smoke coming out. Probably don't even need to check this, but I'm going to do it anyway just to add the remaining wet wood. All right, you can see how brown that turkey is now. And these wood chunks over there are pretty well burned up. I'll put the last one here. Sorry about the jumpy camera. My assistant is out of town. I'm running this solo. Alright, get those there. See that one, that was the original one. That's dried out pretty much now, so it's starting on fire. Alright, now we're back into our last 20-minute stretch, and again, keeping the top slightly cocked off to get more air in there. Now, one thing you gotta keep in mind on a very windy day, that's gonna add more air in there faster, so you don't want it cocked off quite that much, just enough to keep that fire going. And if you have a larger turkey, 8, 9, 10 pounds, you may have to add charcoal one time, but quite possibly not. If you add enough at the very beginning, you should be fine. Just keep adding the wet wood. All right, we're into the hour now. I'm going to put this thermometer in here. Stick it right in the breast. I'm going to be touching the bone. You can't see the numbers very well probably, but I need to get it up around 170. Climbing up to about 160 right now. Yeah, 165 to 170, so now we're right at that range. This baby is done. Generally, you let this turkey sit 10 or 15 minutes after you take it off the grill before you carve it. It does make it easier to carve, and obviously you can cut this slices as thick as you want, and I find the tenderest parts, the most juicy, are right here. You can see some of the juices have already run off. You might even see some pink areas right around the edges, but that's the outside edge. So seeing it pink might suggest to you that it's not done. It is definitely done. That's just an effect of cooking on the grill. The rest of the meat inside in the center is nice and white, and it's definitely cooked. Enjoy. Leave a comment below, please. Let me know how you like this.